everyone, welcome back to Silverrun Forest Farm. I'm still Horse and we're with Jake and Paige as they continue to carve their dream out of the forest up here. You might recall, if you were with us last time, Jake finished getting the corn into the cornfield over by the sound, and he's just been down for a quick look and discovered that the weeds have taken hold, which was pretty much as we expected. So switched vehicles and got into the tractor because we really need to get those weeds sorted. We also have a few coming through in the Silver Beet. Now, which side of the vehicle are we on here? That's better. So we'll do that first and get that job out of the way. Particularly with a little bit of rain on the way, that shouldn't bother us too much, although it'd be real handy to get the grass cut on the field behind us there too before the rain came. So we'll see how we go, but let's just firstly get the weeds out of this sugar beet field. It shouldn't take us too long, and then we can put a worker on the other one, I think. It's not too bad. It's pretty easy to see where we've been here. But yes, the list of jobs today, we need to cut the grass on that field. We'll bale that and use that ultimately for silage. Jake had a quick look at the pricing, and silage is worth about 3 times what the bale, what a hay bale is, so, or per 1,000 litres, I guess. So that makes that really worth doing, and we also want to add a little to our silage stocks because we need to start making TMR for the cows. So there's a good couple of reasons. That kind of leads us into the next job, which is we need to get a mixer for our TMR, and so we'll head down the store and see what they can sort us out with. And looking ahead to the probably later in the month, actually, might even be the next episode, the contractors have said they're ready to finish the shed. All we need to do is come up with 50,000 for that. So no, sorry, 90,000 I think it is for that. So Jake's thinking he's going to have to do another container of timber, and to that end he started over near where the strip field is progressing with the other sugar beet that we put in. So that's just a loading job more than anything. He's cut a few trees. It was using the loader to bring them down and across the strip of sugar beet that he's planted. So there's a few stacked up there that should be able to throw in the back of the container pretty quickly and easily later on in the day. So another full program, but all heading in the right direction. The other thing we need to have a look at is what that corn price is doing. So we'll do that in just a second as well. Looking a little bit grey and changeable, so that rain probably isn't all that far away. Great demand at Rural Farm South. Where Rural Farm South? Would be that wood chip sell point that's right on our veranda there. So I don't know what that's about. Paige is off at work, so can't imagine that there's much emanating actually from the farm for those wood chips. We'll be finished this in just a moment. Just a few stragglers to take care of now, and we can move across to the cornfield. And we might put a worker on that job, I think. Might be the best way to progress. The corn's struck and coming up nicely. So let's see here. If we go into course play. And oops, let's try creating a job. What's the correct field? But I'm pretty sure work width 5 meters. That sounds about right. We'll do 4 headlands, I think. We'll start on the headlands. Actually, you can start in the center, given your weeding. Sharp corners, no, too much overlap. Let's generate this course. It's going to start just there in front of us. Just over here. The first waypoint. And you should be able to get that sorted there, Chief. Looking pretty good. So we'll leave you to trundle along with that, and we'll duck back up the top and grab the case, because we need to be going on with mowing that grass. There's always folks hanging around the stables down here looking for a few extra dollars, so we might stick one of them on the mower while we head into town and have a look at the mixed wagon options. Should get a nice cut of grass off this field actually. This will be the first time since we fully prepared it. And the other thing we need to remember to do today is get some fertilizer on that cornfield, which we can do after the weeding's done. Another one of those situations that Jake's been thinking about a couple of times in the last few weeks, where it'd be really handy just to have that extra tractor So let's create a job. Over here, that is the field we want. And target we'll do wherever it happens. That's correct. 3 headlands is fine. Start work on the headlands. Generate the course. You're going to start on the other side there by the looks. We'll go and get you underway. And then we can grab the ute. And hopefully, if we select the first waypoint, this will tackle our task just nicely. She should do a great job. There we go. We're not going to, we're just going to collect it as grass here, so we'll just row it up when we're done. Our horses are in reasonable shape, fine for everything that we need there. So let's go grab the ute and head into town. Actually, before we do, you can see the corn just sitting in the trailer there. Let's just have a look what corn prices are doing. So they're still stuck at this $700 level that they've been marooned at now since we harvested it a few months ago. We have a look at the fluctuations. Yeah, we're still sitting down here around the 700 mark. So we're going to have to wait a little bit longer and see if it in fact pops up at all. $357. We'll leave the seed in the back there. It doesn't matter. And we can whip that out of there a bit later on. Whoa, should probably look before we come piling out of there. We'll end up with a guy in the door. You get so used to just driving out your driveway, paying attention. And we know the train's just gone past, so that's at least a little bit safer. Still all boarded up here. Okay, let's see what's on offer today in the shop. Well, firstly, the bargains. Ooh. Firstly, the bargains are interesting. So, there is in fact a mixing wagon. Now, that's potentially 26 meters. It's potentially just a little bit larger than we need. In order to move it around, though, we need an IT runner back. Trailer option. We don't have an IT runner truck. Let's $23,000. So it's cheap for what it is. The question is, what would we have to do to make it work? And there is a smaller milk tanker. I think the one we've got is doing just, so if we didn't have one, this would be ideal. Our current milk tanker. Where is our current? Maybe, did we lease our milk tanker? No, we didn't. Is it in miscellaneous? It is. Yeah, so our current milk tanker is really not costing us much money at all. So that's not worth worrying too much about. So let's go to animals here. See, potentially that other one at 23,000 is twice the size, but to be perfectly honest, this would probably do us just as well. And we wouldn't need the trailer. What's this one? Oh, that's a straw chopper. So that's the one that's on available second hand. So I'm really thinking we're better off. We actually got an option for a trailer that will take that IT runner. I'm not sure that we do. What have we got in here? Little trailers. We do not. And another truck would probably be quite expensive. We don't even have a truck that would pick that attachment up. So I think very much for the moment we'll go with this one. There's no special options, and hopefully we'll be able to connect it to the ute, at least to get it back. So let's find out. Now, one of the things about being in a small town that was interesting, being inside there, Jake got to know the boys pretty well at Eddie's, and it turns out a chap called Stumpy Morgan was in earlier. Now, if you don't know Stumpy runs the little container terminal that's up near the old sawmill. Anyway, apparently he's looking for Jake. He's expecting a delivery in the early afternoon, and it's got Jake and Paige's name on it. So don't know what that is about. Jake doesn't know Stumpy particularly well. He's met him a couple of times, as you do, around the traps. But the only thing that Jake can think of is maybe this is the surprise for Paige from her grandfather, which is all well and good, but surely Jake's pretty convinced that Paige was getting sent a couple of horses. Surely their grandfather would have kind of tipped him off so he could be prepared. It's going to be a little bit awkward. They've got a couple of horses to pick up, and the stable down the bottom of the hill is actually full, so not quite sure what the deal is there. Certainly the boys at Eddie's had no idea what it was. Stumpy didn't elaborate, if he even knows. He just said there was a truck coming, and it'd be real handy if Jake could come up and help him unload it. So who knows what is in order. We'll just drop this in here for the minute, because we've got a bit of work to do before we can think about making some TMR. Now we can drop the seed back in the container there. Do that a little bit later on. In the meantime, let's have a look here. So the mowing's progressing. The advantage from being able to see up here is we know what's going on. So he's getting through the mowing fairly well. He must be just about on the up and downs, which means there won't be an awful lot to go on that field. So we can go and do the tedding in due course. How are we off for fertilizer? There's probably almost enough in there to do the other field. So let's go over and check how the weeding's going. So the weeding's progressing. Here we go. Going to be probably a halfway through the up and downs at this stage. So this will take a little bit longer. We'll go and get the grass sorted while we're waiting. But, Jake's mind's really racing about what could possibly be coming in by truck later on in the day. It's kind of exciting, but also a bit daunting as to what other projects are going to be added to the list as a result. So, but for now, we'll leave this this chap to the weeding, seeing he seems to be doing a pretty good job, and we'll head back over and have a look at our grass. So this is much better now, in perfect condition. That's what we want to see. And so is our barley there. So expected yield 100%. They're the sort of numbers we like. So that'll be next month. The barley has to come off. That's another reason for doing a container of timber. Maybe we can combine the activities. We'll fill the container up and take that up, because we've got to process that at Stumpy's yard anyway. As you might have gathered, Stumpy's a short bloke. Runs the container yard. Wouldn't want to upset him. He's as strong as an ox. The folks around here swear he can move the containers without the truck, but nobody's ever actually seen him do it. So this one's almost finished. We just need a vehicle to pull our is that rain coming? Probably could be. It sounds like rain. It feels like rain. Okay. Well, given we're going to make silage out of this anyway, We might pause this guy because we don't really want to be cutting the grass in the rain. It just makes a mess. Lady, I should have said. There's not that much to go here, so we might give her a break. She can go tend to her horse, and what we might do is head across to where we're loading the truck. We can definitely get some logs in before without taking too much risk, and the weeding can continue on the other field, so that's fine. So here we are, just got a bit of a pile of logs here, and if we're a little bit creative, we should be able to use the yard up, which you can see is falling down the hill here. So we'll just turn the yarder equipment on. We're not going to do too much, so we want carriage pretty much where it is. And if we pick one of these up, actually we could probably do with it. Yeah, that'll do. So let's just pick you up. Just lift you a fraction. And move the carriage forward, I'm hoping. Wrong way, let's try this way. No, we're not lined up under the yarder, so it's just pulling them off to the side a little. The tree is kind of in the way there, but let's see how we go here. You saw it grabbed one right off the end of the yarder there, so let's just lift you up. And across you go. And into the trailer. Beautiful. How we like it. So B to connect on, J to lift you up. And if they're in the right spot, all Jake's done's run a log across the bottom underneath to just give them a little bit of angle. But we can do a couple here, in fact, I think. As long as you keep the weight down. Oops, that's got to pull it back a little bit. Just to get them out from under the... There we go. Keep them up. And just a little bit of experimentation to see where to attach them. There's the yard ahead there. And on there. On there. They're too heavy, so one at a time when you get the really big ones. And just link him into the back. That's all we need. Up you come. Don't catch the lip. Right. So there's one here. The only trouble with two trees is that the first one, when it gets taken, disconnects the second. So unless it's real close, it can unhook it for you. What's happening here? You close to the... Not quite. A little bit up. Whoop. Step back, folks. We've got a tree swinging in the breeze. Just let him down a bit to catch the ground and straighten up. Now, it will just move us back to the box, hopefully. There we go. So about there is on the tree is where I tend to go for. And let's just move back a little. A little. And across. Wait for him to swing back. There we go. So we'll just finish loading this up. We get both on there, we can. So you can see sometimes you can luck in with two. Back with the M key. We're stuck now. Put you down. Sometimes it's easier just to disconnect and start again. One of those jobs that it's a little bit easier with practice. Let's go and get a couple more off the slope. We're probably 2/3 full there. What we got here? So we can 7.5 meters to my right, just using that little length scale there. Got the lumberjack mod, so it just tells me how much I've got. Let's try and not get run over by the log. 6 meters to my right. Another 6. Another 6. As you can see, quite quick and easy. Even if you don't use a tree processor, we don't have a big unit to use on this. So if I call the carriage over, the carriage is now returning. We can watch him come in. There he is. Probably got one tree we need to get out of the way of the carriage there. Step back. Stay in range of the there we go. Let's get you up. Swing you around. You can see our sugar beet is coming along quite nicely here. Let's just turn off carriage mode. And let that down just a whisker to stop the swing. There's the rain finished, which is great. I was hoping it was only going to be a short spring shower. Okay. So that should enable us to move that a little bit closer to the truck there. Just a little bit high to get in the shot, but you can see the idea. Oops, we're too far away. Move him back. Drop you down, come on. Right. Let's see here if we can get you in the trailer. Drag you across a little bit shorter and in you go. That's it. How are we going for fullness here? 13,000 litres in there. So seeing the sun's back out, let's go and check back in with our grass cutting. And we'll come back and finish loading our truck a little bit later on. Not that we've got that much to do. Just bring down the rest of that log and I reckon we'll be fairly close. So our weeder is just about on the headlands, which is good. We'll restart you, but not at the first. Let's start you again at the nearest waypoint, which should be right here. Excellent. So while that's finishing, we'll get the rest of those logs loaded up and then we can come back and windrow this field. With any luck, this might be the last or second last. Let's see how we go here. One was fine. What about you? Just bring you back a fraction, up a little. And in. Is that full? 21,700, that's pretty full. So the truck's ready when we move out of the way. The truck's ready to go down to the container depot, which we can do as soon as we're finished on the field. Shut those doors up. So let's just see, our weeding is progressing fine. You're about to start. You're not already on the headlands. And this is the last bit of the mowing. So that's progressed pretty well. Let's just run the windrower across. Define our windrower job. That's the field we want. Open the generator. That's the work width. Start on the headland. Do 3 of those because it's a long piece of equipment. And generate the course. Excellent. And you're going to start on the other side. So we'll just let you go and sort that out yourself. I think you can manage. And given we're in early afternoon, which was what the instruction was, we might take the container load down to the warehouse and or the container facility and see what the deal is. I'll just back up here a little. We've got a full load of timber on. Try and stay off the crop there, Jake. Yeah, corn's looking fabulous that we planted in this field the other week, so it's coming along quite nicely. It's turned into a fine afternoon. Anything coming? Nothing that way. Hopefully whatever is coming in on the truck will fit on the back of the will fit on the tray here once the container is gone. Stuck in here. There's that container warehouse there just to our right. Dumpy's team does a great job. So 46,000 plus 4,000 in score, so basically the 4,000 covers the cost of the container, so 46,000 in timber we loaded in there. We'll just pop off to the side here and duck inside and see what Stumpy's got to say. It turns out that it's a semi and it's due in any minute, and it is indeed from Paige's grandfather, so hopefully we'll be able to get to the bottom of this mystery. And all I can say is, wow. So, well, so there's some history sitting on a page right there. So to say Jake is surprised would be the understatement of the century. Let's get some equipment off this truck, shall we? So we have an N6 Series 3 gleaner, harvester, which belonged to Paige's grandfather. In fact, he bought it new for his farm, I think in 1980. And it looks amazing. He and Paige's dad must have been working on it. If I'm not mistaken, this is a 79 Alice Chalmers tractor, which also belonged to Paige's grandfather. He's had from new. It's got 141 hours on it, and he hasn't been farming for a while, so they've obviously done some work to it. Yeah, I reckon these two beauties have been hiding in a shed at Paige's grandfather's place for, well, pretty much untouched for the last 20 years since the farm went. So that probably explains why they look so good. They get a little bit of road grime on them. But let's see if we can get them back to the farm. What a surprise. These are amazing. Jake can't believe his luck. And the boys in the yard here are queuing up to help drive them. We got two, there we go. We'll take it a little bit easy to head back. Got a gleaner and a tractor somewhere there in the background. Finding his way onto the mountain road of sorts. We might be easier. The gleaner's struggling a little bit with follow me by the looks. I think the worker we've popped in is not really used to this older kit, so we might go and help out here, I think. Let's get on back. We're really going to need to get that shed finished now in order to put this somewhere. What a pickup. Going to take days to wipe the smile off Jake's face here. Even Paige is going to be surprised. Looks like our worker has our grass all rowed up, which is fabulous. Although Jake's probably pretty keen to spend the afternoon inspecting his new toys. Talk about great timing with harvest only a month or so away. This works in a treat. It's got enough room. Hopefully the truck will make the turn just. And the tractor, yes. I might just pull up over here, out of the way, rather than try and do battle in the yard. And have a look at what we've got. And there we go. Jake's prayers were answered, a third tractor. So this will be really handy. In fact, what we might do is run down the hill and see how this goes on the baler. Can't help himself. It's a good view. It's not fast, but it'll be perfect for all those yard jobs. Front end loader on it, so we can use it to mix up the TMR. Looks like the weeding is finished as well. Let's have a look here. Charmers and Gleaner, both brands with plenty of history. I think Alice bought Gleaner back in the 1950s. And let's put the pickup down, unfold the tool, turn it on. We baling? Not yet. Now. Fantastic. Bit green and orange, but doing the job beautifully. Not quite the interior of a modern tractor, but gee, it's pretty clean and tidy. Visibility is great. Everything Jake needs. This is the way to work with a smile on your face. I think we know where Jake's going to spend the afternoon. We'll get all of the bales prepared on here, and next time when we come back, probably need to think about sorting out, we're going to need a header for that Gleaner. We're going to need some more cash because there's not enough there for a header and to finish the shed, and we desperately need to finish the shed now, and we also need to get the fertilizer on the cornfield. But until then, you can even see the scratches on the bonnet there. Until then, Jake's just going to have fun with Paige's grandfather's 1980 odd Alice Chalmers, which is going to do just great for these sorts of jobs on our farm. So if everyone's enjoying the Silverrun Forest farm, Jake and Paige certainly are, and until we see you next time, stay safe, have fun, see ya.